guys, what's up? I'm going to do a two-part video. First one is going to be a review of the Templar M 250. The other one is going to be what I carry when I'm riding in the mountains on this particular bike. This is going to be a 6-month review. It has a lot of wear and tear on it. Had it on jump tracks, had it on single tracks, and mainly up in the mountains. I live at the foot of the mountain, really about 10 minutes from our local mountain, I guess. So it's about a 10-minute ride to the mountains, and then it's a little bit of off-road riding, and then about 10 more minutes on a main road to get to back roads and single track trails. I paid $1,999 for this bike off of Amazon. They delivered it to my home. It took me about 4 hours to put together. Okay. The reason why it took me so long is because I looked up a video on exactly what to do with it. Made sure everything was greased down. Made sure everything was locked tight. Of course, it's a Chinese bike, so it's going to have cheaper bolts and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you lock tight everything. Depending on what you're going to use this bike for, I 100% do recommend it. Like I said, had it on jump tracks, single track, mountains. If you're wanting a bike for like a jump track, this is not that bike, okay? It doesn't have the power that it really needs to get over those jumps. It's just not built for that. I've had it on a jump track multiple times at my buddy's property. If you want to see that, I have another video on my channel. The GoPro is actually on this bike, so you can take a look at that video and kind of see what all jumps I did. I didn't record any jumps really on the bike that I did. Earlier that day I got into a wreck with it pretty bad, and so I kind of took it easy on the jumps and I recorded everybody else kind of doing it. But I will tell you, I have drove this thing a bunch to my work. I live about 15 minutes from my job, so this thing has got me there and back just because I like to ride it. If you want this bike for single track, like I said, it's perfect. Property, it's perfect. Mountain riding, it's perfect. Anything technical, it's perfect. The only downside to this bike really is the speed on the road, 45, 50 tops. So you're not going on no highways, definitely no interstate. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the top in the front of the bike all the way to the back, okay? It's got a little odometer. It is push start, it's got a key. Key comes with it. Okay. It's got an odometer. So this is the choke actually. You just hold that in, do what you need to do with it. So I'll start it back up. Okay. That right there is how many miles I have on it. 1,265. Okay. I've beat the crap out of this thing. Put the miles on it. I have wrecked this bike. Handlebars straight in the dirt pretty quick, and they're solid. Okay. It is a heavier bike for a 250 though. Okay. Comes with 2 of these. I took one off just because. Okay. Clutch, choke, front brake. Okay, blinkers work perfect. Oh, right here. Blinkers work perfect. Okay, turn these things off. One thing I will say, they don't come with hand guards. My advice to you, if you're going to get hand guards for really any dirt bike at all, don't buy these cheap pieces of junk off of Amazon. Okay, laid it down one time and it broke this here, so I had to tape it, and it's been taped ever since. Okay, this bolt broke. Okay, so now it just hangs there. The headlight's junk, you can't see at night. So luckily I changed these because I've been caught out at night with this thing. So I actually bought both of these from Tractor Supply for about 35 bucks. Wired them in. I know nothing about wiring, but I was able to do it somehow. Wired it in. You have brights off. They turn off. Actually, I'm sorry. You have brights off. That one turns off. Okay. Brights on. That one turns on. Lights off. Lights on. Okay. It works perfect, and you can see very well at night with these two things. Okay. It cost me 35 bucks, I believe, to change that out. All right. Another thing is, this thing is air cooled, and I actually like that about it. You don't have to really worry about it overheating. I rode this thing for about 6 to 7 hours the other night. We run into a tree on a trail. We had to cut it out with a silky saw that I have. Tires, I've had these tires on here since I bought the bike. I've rode them on the road. I mean, y'all seen how many miles was on this thing, and a lot of that was road riding. The front tube has busted on me twice. Okay, I put heavy duty tubes in there, so we're good. And this is one of the reasons why I say don't have it on a jump track, is because of the wheels. Okay, you can see how these wheels have been nicked up, scratched. Okay, they're cheap and they will bend on you. You can't really tell until you get on the road and start going 35, 40 miles an hour, and you'll feel this sucker start wobbling. Back tire. Okay. I had this thing off-road up in the mountains in some pretty good mud, and it is wearing thin. I do need to change it here soon, but they've done really well for me up until this point as well. So we'll talk about the chain. Okay, it comes with a piece of junk Chinese chain. Okay, it stretches out. I didn't have it break on me, luckily, but it stretches out. You have to tighten it. Stretches out more, you have to tighten it. And it got to the point where it was so loose, I didn't even want to tighten it. I was afraid it was going to break, so I just kept it loose, and it wound up coming off on me once. Luckily, I was able to get it back on pretty easily, and got home, ordered this DID chain. I believe that's what it was. Gold chain. It is actually, I need to grease it a little bit, but it is an O-ring chain. It was a complete accident because a lot of buddies of mine said it probably wouldn't fit, but I'm assuming since it is a dual sport, there's enough room that it fits. And so I put some miles on this chain. It does very well. I might need to tighten it up a little bit more, but that chain's pretty nice and it's done good. Ordered off of eBay for a KLR 250 possibly. It's all steel. The reason why I had to order it is because this original one broke off of it. Twisted this, whatever this is, the shank or whatever in here, twisted it so it wouldn't go back on. So I had to buy an all steel one, fit it on where I wanted it, and a buddy of mine welded it on. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger, so you really have to have your foot out there. The good thing is it sticks out right there, so I'm able to catch it with my foot right here. Okay, so if you lay it down on the left side, be prepared, because you're probably gonna come up, find out that your shifter's broke there. Okay, that you can put bags or whatever on. Okay, so what I have on this Stinger 8 Moscow Moto bag that I keep all my stuff in, and a silky saw on the side. Okay, so if you run into a tree or something, you're able to cut it out of the way. It come black with orange stickers and stuff on it. I took it all off, spray painted it because I like white. Spray painted the gas tank blue and everything else white there. Changing the oil is very easy. It does have this skid plate on it, that way no sticks or nothing jam up in there. You don't have no problem, you know, any rocks hit. It just has 2 bolts up here, 2 bolts in the bottom. You take those 4 out, You can get right to the oil very easily, drain the oil out and change the oil. The gas tank is very big. It doesn't really look like it, maybe it does. I went for about a 6-hour ride the other night, up in the mountains on the road, and I still had a little under half a tank. So if you're thinking of buying this bike, I wouldn't worry too much about hauling extra gas. It's a 250. I weigh 210, so I try not to overload the bike with a bunch of stuff. I kind of just have the essentials in it. But don't overdo it. You don't have to have extra gas in a bottle or whatever, because that tank will 100% do you for a very long ride. It is push start, like I said, so it does have a battery under the seat. One problem I've run into is the way that the air filter is in here, and the battery sits right under the seat. So when you sit on this seat, it kind of pushes on the battery a little bit, and it wound up actually breaking where the wires connect to the battery. So what I actually had to wind up doing was taking the battery out, the little platform that the battery sits on out, and just putting the battery down beside the airbox. There's definitely enough room in there, so that's what I did. That way I didn't have problems in the future with it. Also has a kickstart, okay? And I've used that thing a few times where my battery just kind of went dead up there for whatever reason. I kicked this thing once, maybe twice, and there's enough juice in it to start it, and I don't have a problem after that for a while. I bought my kids 2 Chinese dirt bikes. One thing with these bikes is you always use 100% gas in them, okay? The gas lasts a long time. If you put anything other than 100% gas in this, you will be cleaning that carburetor out within a month or two. If you ride it a lot, every other month, put a little bit of stabilizer in it or cleaner in it, like a seafoam, and that'll help it out a lot as well. The suspension. Suspension's not bad. The forks are great. The suspension on the back is great. One thing I can say is you can, if you're a taller guy, you can raise the back end up, okay? You can raise the back end up, and actually I prefer it to be raised up even if you ain't tall, because this thing does go down quite a bit, okay? If you're thinking of buying this bike, maybe it's your first bike, maybe it's your kid's first bike, you know, maybe they're teenagers, I would 100% recommend it. If you're riding on the mountain, if you're doing single track, I would recommend it 100%. For a jump track, something like that, do not recommend it. But one thing I will say about this bike is it is tough. I've dropped it. My brother's dropped it. This is the bike I let my brother ride when we all go riding. I would ride my 650, he'd ride this. And he's never rode before. He's rode with us on this particular bike at least 3 or 4 times. Long rides, you know, 4 or 5 hour rides through the mountains. He loves it. I enjoy the bike myself. I have no complaints about it, other than little things. Like I showed you, you fix them little things, you're good. Alright, so like I said, the next video I make will be what I carry on me in my bag. On this particular bike, I'm 210 pounds, okay? It's a 250 Chinese bike. Okay, so you don't want to load this thing down. So kind of just carry the essentials, but I'll go over that next video. So thanks for watching, guys.